What's up, guys? We have an 8-game NBA slate for November 1st. Looking at point guard, Russell Westbrook, 9.8K. A lot of these Rockets and Nets players are going to be very high owned, especially in cash, just because of the amazing high game total. We've seen in the past, just this year, the Rockets, especially against the Wizards, that game went over 300 total points. This game currently has a 241 line, which I think that it wouldn't be crazy for it to hit over 250 plus or something. So a lot of these players, and we know where the production is coming from, especially on the Rockets, it's going to be Westbrook, it's going to be Harden, and the Nets, it's probably going to be Kyrie, most likely, and then LeVert, Dinwiddie. But Westbrook here, 9.8K, I think he's an excellent play regardless of ownership. This spot, we know Westbrook is pretty much like a walking triple-double. Obviously, this year, it's a little bit different with James Harden sharing the floor, but still 9.8K just seems too cheap, even against like a worser team. But here, I think against the Nets, it's just a great play because the Nets are a pretty high turnover team, and Westbrook, we know he's a guy that also can get you steals and blocks. So I really like Westbrook at 9.8K. And then after Westbrook, I think you're looking down here with Luka Doncic, 9.7K, $100 below him. I think he's a very good contrarian play, but this is a tough matchup. The Lakers are a lot better of a defensive team this year, and also it just makes more sense to pay up for Westbrook. You're only paying up an extra $100, or you go down to Kyrie Irving at 9K. This spot, the same thing with Westbrook and Harden. Kyrie at 9K in this spot against the Rockets, how we've seen that just the Rockets, they've given up a whole lot of points, real life and fantasy, to opposing players, especially like Kyrie, where we know Westbrook and Harden are not the best defenders. They don't really put much effort and focus on that side of the ball. This is going to be an excellent play. I think Kyrie, you can definitely see him hitting over his 57.8 average even. I think he can get you over 60. I think there's potential for 70. So I really like Kyrie. I think I prefer Kyrie over Westbrook just because Westbrook is sharing the floor with Harden, and they both can definitely go off. This is the spot, but Kyrie, we know he's the main guy in Brooklyn, so I prefer him. Next, Kemba Walker, 8.4K. The Knicks are going to start Frank Ntilikina today. He's a pretty good defender. I think Kemba's still in play, though, 8.4K. He usually plays better at home, and it's the Knicks, 8.4K. For a guy that has 60-point upside, I think he's going to be a very strong GPP play. Nobody's going to be on him. Next, Mike Conley's 6.7K. I actually like quite a bit of the players from the Utah Jazz today. They're going to be significantly paced up. They're going to be away, but the Kings just have not looked great defensively or offensively overall. Luke Walton just isn't, he doesn't seem like a great coach. And Mike Conley, he shot horribly to start. He had a better game last game it was a 14-point game, but it was a blowout. Mike Conley finally shot the ball well. I think we can definitely expect more rebounds and assists from Mike Conley. So fantasy-wise, I think the real points are not going to be there for 29. But I think he makes up for it in the other categories, and this is going to be a way better matchup, way better situation. So I like Mike Conley, 6.7K, should be a low-owned guy. Next, Spencer Dinwiddie, 5.3K. He's not going to play a whole lot of minutes. He was in foul trouble last game. He only played like 3 minutes in the first quarter, and he picked up like 2 or 3 actually, something like that. Just a really high total of fouls, so he was just benched quickly. But this guy, same thing with all the other players in this game. It's just such a great fantasy environment that Spencer Dinwiddie, 5.3K, he's definitely very much in play. Next is Derek White, 5.2K. DeJounte Murray is going to miss this game. The Warriors, now without Curry, they're just a horrible defensive team. I think that there's some blowout potential even. And also the Spurs, they're going to be on back-to-back. Their minutes weren't that crazy except for DeRozan and Aldridge, but they usually play 30 plus. And it's the beginning of the season, so I don't think that they're going to do any kind of load management. But I think Derek White is an excellent play here with only Murray out. 5.2K seems a little bit too cheap. He should be playing closer to 30 minutes now without Murray, so I like this play at 5.2K. And then the other White, Kobe White, 4.7K. This guy is not going to be like owned at all, but I think he has some upside. His minutes are not really consistent, and he's not really shooting the ball particularly well. But I think in this spot, Detroit, they haven't been that great defensively against guards. The Bulls are willing to play multiple guard lineups, and so if Kobe White can shoot a little bit better, we can definitely see him creeping up towards those 30 minutes early on in the season. And then next, Chris Dunn, same thing with him. This is just more of like a value play. Don't really like him, but I think down here you could definitely do worse than a guy like Chris Dunn who can get you steals. That's pretty much what he does. In fantasy, gets you steals, and he's gonna handle the ball. He's a point guard, but his minutes, they're pretty much they're a little safer. You know kind of what you're gonna get, but the ceiling is nowhere near that of Kobe White. Moving on to shooting guard, James Harden at the top, 11K, excellent play. Nothing else really needs to be said here. I think that is going to be very popular, but that also makes other guys that are cheaper at the guard positions a lot better tournament plays. So Harden, overall, I think he's an excellent play. If you can pay up for him, get him. I think he can definitely be a priority, but you just gotta find the right value plays, which I do have some later on at other positions. Next, Donovan Mitchell. Again, same thing with Mike Conley. I think this is going to be a very low-owned play, but I really like the matchup, everything about it. 7.6K seems a little bit too cheap for this matchup. And then Marcus Smart, he can definitely be one of your money-saving value or money-saving plays. 4.9K against the Knicks. The Knicks, they are still not that great. Boston's going to be playing at home. Marcus Smart is a guy that is known for his defense, but he can contribute in a variety of ways. He is going to get more shot opportunities, more playing time with Jaylen Brown doubtful with an illness. I think 30 DraftKings points is definitely possible, but know that he's not an absolute lock because we've seen him in the past, like past seasons, sometimes he just disappoints in spots where we expect him to be chalky, but it just doesn't really turn out. Next, Eric Gordon, going to be another play from that Houston-Brooklyn game. 4K for a guy like Aaron Gordon who can get hot from the three-point line. That's pretty much what he does. He's not going to do a whole lot, but there's a three-point bonus for DraftKings, so I think he's very much in play. We can see him having one of his better shooting days. He's shooting 26.8%, which we know that's not the type of player that he is. He's been a three-point champion. He's known for his range, everything shooting-wise, so I really like Eric Gordon for a value play. More tournament. Terrence Ross, same thing with him. He's not really shooting well this year either. He had an awful game last year. His shooting percentage is just really bad right now. But Milwaukee, we've seen in the past, so far this season, they've been a little bit better, but still, Milwaukee does allow a lot of three-point attempts, so a lot of three-point makes, and Terrence Ross, that's what he likes to do. He's going to be very aggressive when he's out there coming off the bench. So value play 3.8K for a tournament, probably going to be like sub 1%. And then small forward now, I think Giannis, you can definitely fade him. Orlando is a tough spot. Jonathan Isaac, tremendous defender. Aaron Gordon, very athletic. Going to be a pace down spot as well for the Bucks. So not going to really be playing any Giannis. LeBron, going to be low on 9.9K, but I think AD is just the guy. He's the man in LA right now, so I'd rather play AD over LeBron. Jason Tatum, 7K. I like him quite a bit. Without Jaylen Brown, just more shots, more playing time. And I think 7K, we usually see Tatum in the 6s, but here, the role, the matchup, everything, I think 7K is definitely fair. It's a good price. He's going to be taking a whole lot of shots. He has really good rebounding opportunities this year. He's taking over 20 shots in 3 of the 4 games so far. His playing time is going to be up there as long as the game stays close. So I like Tatum. Next, Gordon Hayward, his Celtic teammate, 6.1K. He had a really strong game last game, so I don't really want to chase it, but I think it's not really chasing. The matchup is still there. Everything, the opportunity, the usage is going to be up, the playing time. And so as long as this game stays close, same thing with Tatum. I definitely prefer Tatum over Hayward, but if you can't get to Tatum, I think you can definitely just go to Hayward. But I think they aren't core plays, though. And then Karis LeVert, I like him. I'd say over Hayward and Tatum. Again, just because of the matchup, the game environment, LeVert, he's going to be on the court when Kyrie gets a rest. They both start, but usually LeVert checks out midway and then comes back when Kyrie gets his break. So I like LeVert at 6K. I think that's a little bit too cheap for the kind of role and everything that he does. And then another Utah play is Bojan Bogdanovich, 5.4K. He's been showing some upside this year, even with how balanced the Jazz are. I think this is a really good spot. Same thing with Mitchell, Conley. The Kings just overall as a team, they don't really play defense. So I like Bogdanovich here, 5.4K. Make sure it's Bogdan. Just isn't really a play that I really like right now. Next is Marcus Morris, 4.8K. If you were into the revenge narrative, I think Morris is a guy that definitely could have something out there to prove against his former team. He's playing, or he's not shooting that all that well, but he's because he's playing small forward, he's not really getting the same amount of rebounds. But we know if he's around the basket, something like that, he shoots a little bit better. He definitely can go over that 5x at 4,800. Next is Joe Harris, another player from Brooklyn. He's only a shooter, but in a game like this where Houston doesn't really play much defense, I like Joe Harris. For tournaments only, though, Rudy Gay, 4.7K. He is one of the older players on the Spurs team, so there maybe is a little bit of a rest load management concern, but I think that there's definitely more usage to go around with Murray out. So Rudy Gay, 4.7K in a terrific matchup against Golden State. Makes sense. And then next is Daniel House Jr., 4K. Same thing like Joe Harris. He's kind of a shooter, but he's a little bit better of a defender, can get you more rebounds, and he's cheaper. But know that his ceiling isn't quite there, just because he's going to be kind of the guy that's going to be standing at the 3-point line, maybe in the corner, while Westbrook and Harden pretty much take over the offense for the Rockets. Next is Glenn Robinson, 4K. Golden State without Curry, the usage is just gonna really open up a whole lot. Robinson probably still gonna start here. We don't really know what the Warriors lineup's gonna look like, but I think Robinson 4K with all the usage that's opened up makes for a nice value play. Now on to power forward. Anthony Davis, not gonna tell you no. Questionable with the shoulder injury. That definitely is concerning because we know how easily he gets hurt. But I think 10.6K still seems a little bit cheap, even away against Dallas, who has a variety of bigs and defenders like Dwight Powell now, with him back, and Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith. They have multiple guys that can throw at 80, but I think Anthony Davis, we know the kind of superstar that he is, what he can do on any given night. So I'm not going to tell you no. He's definitely in play for tournaments, though. Next, Lauri Markkanen, 7.5K. Detroit's been giving it up a lot to power forwards, and I think that Markkanen in this matchup, it seems like a pretty solid one. He's not going to be high owned at all. He didn't really shoot all that well after that first game. So I think Markkanen, if he can get his shot going, definitely rebounds are going to be there as well. He can definitely be a very nice tournament play. For these guys like Kevin Love and Domantas Sabonis, I like them, but just the price, they seem overpriced. I'm looking for value. I think Christian Wood, if Markieff Morris is ruled out, makes sense, because the Bulls, they are the worst defensive rebounding team, and they are the 5th worst offensive rebounding team. So with Wood, if he gets the start next to Drummond, I think playing Wood and Drummond actually can be viable, 3.9K, just because of how great rebounders Wood and Drummond are. So if Morris is ruled out, I do like Wood. Minutes probably aren't going to be into the 30s at all, not going to be close, but the matchup, everything, Christian Wood's a really efficient fantasy player. I like Wood if he can get the start, or if Morris is out. Now on to center, Andre Drummond, like Wood. The Bulls, Pistons, they play both pretty slow. The game total is not there, but like we've seen with Kevin Love last game, Andre Drummond is one of the best rebounders, probably the best rebounder in the league. So when you get a matchup, all the puzzle pieces fit together here. Andre Drummond's probably as close as you can to a 2020 game tonight. And with everyone going to Kyrie, Westbrook, and Harden, I think Drummond's ownership could be a little bit lower than expected. I think maybe somewhere around like the high teens, low 20s. But I really like Drummond. He's going to be one of my highest owned players on the slate. So Andre Drummond, I think he's a pretty safe play for 50 plus DraftKings points tonight. And then another Utah Jazz player, Rudy Gobert. The Kings play so fast. They also have a lot of turnovers because of that pace. And the Jazz are going to be paced up. Some more shots are going to be put up. Rudy Gobert is going to be able to get a lot more rebounds, block opportunities, everything. And then probably the best value play right now is Daniel Tice, 4K. Robert Williams is doubtful with a hip injury. Enes Kanter is already ruled out. And it's really Tice and Taco Fall, whatever minutes that he picks up, but he's not really a guy that's going to be playing a whole lot. So Tice, his minutes probably are going to be safer. 20 was kind of high last game, but I think even in this matchup, which they don't need as much defense defending Giannis, I think Tice still makes for a terrific value play. His minutes, they're somewhat concerning. We don't really know what they're going to look like, but I think you can definitely do worse at 4K. The minutes, especially for a big man, which you know there's going to be a nice floor with his rebounding and defensive stats, and putbacks probably because he's going up against the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is a terrific defender, but Tice isn't going to be like the guy that's going to be demanding the ball down low. So I think he can definitely get like offensive rebounds, putbacks, defensive stats like that can get you to value. So overall on this slate, my favorite play is going to be Kyrie at 9K, and then Drummond's going to be a very close second to him. I think you can definitely play two Boston value guys like Marcus Smart and Daniel Tice. And then if Christian Wood is in, then I think he's going to definitely be my forward. And for guard, though, for my fifth play as of right now, without knowing the Morris news, is going to be Derek White. So these are my 5 favorite value plays right now. If you guys enjoyed the video, you like the picks, please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out more videos in the future for NBA. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Or also, you can find my Twitter in the description. And you can just add me on there or DM me. I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you guys for watching again, and bye.